You're tuned in to the Finding Life podcast, GenAlpha Coaching Corner. Real conversations that help us understand, grow, and guide to the next generation. I'm Life, alongside Coach Jon, and together we explore what really matters. Today's episode, Family Wisdom, lesson from Nana Newsome. We're continuing the conversation with our GenAlpha tweens and welcoming a special guest, Coach Jon's grandmother, Nana Newsome, who shares personal stories and timeless strategies that shape the man he is today. Let's get into it. All right, boom, man. Listen, welcome to another episode of Finding Life podcast. This is GenAlpha.
Yeah.
We are
What's up,
excited to have our y'all's super special grandma. In the building today.
To all those who don't know, this is my grandmother.
Come on.
This is Coach Jon's grandmother.
This is Coach Jon's grandmother.
Introduce yourself, Granny.
My name is Chastine Newsome.
It's Chastine, y'all.
Listen, come on, get Granny right all the way.
Okay, my name is Chastine Newsome. I'm Jon's grandmother for 28 years.
29.
29 years.
I'll be 30. Oh, I shouldn't tell her my age.
Come on, man.
But,
Anyway.
Yeah, she's been my granny since.
Yes.
This is my mother's mother.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But y'all heard how she say who she is. She's Chastine. But let's jump right into it.
Let's jump. What we talking about today, John?
Hold
on. Before we go,
Yeah.
let me just say to you, listen, man, I appreciate you sharing Granny with us today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I know how John feel about his grandma now.
Yeah.
Listen, John coming to the office a many day.
Yeah.
And they better go play with my grandma.
Yeah.
John, listen, that's a soft spot. So,
Yep.
so y'all know.
That's
Our tweens.
Yeah.
John understand when y'all get to crashing out about your nanas.
Yeah.
You understand? John get it. So anyway,
she played a huge role in raising me. So.
I can't wait for us to kind of
understand.
talk about it and hear some of that wisdom.
Yeah.
So John, what are we talking about today?
Man, so we're gonna talk about I can calm down, managing big emotions. I think that's really big for middle schoolers, because I remember when I was that age, and I think you can remember that too, Granny, when my emotions probably get out of hand a little bit. But we ain't gonna jump into it too quick. But yeah, I can calm down managing big emotions.
Why is that important? Immediately I think about why that's important for me and why that's important, and we see it in our community. But why is that important to our tweens?
Man, I say it's super important so that we can teach them that our emotions are natural, but that we all need tools to handle them. And this week we're going to introduce calming strategies that'll help build emotional control without shame.
And so, Granny, now you as an educator, this is what specialty, what specialty and what grades did you really work with?
All grades.
Okay, everybody.
Everybody.
Zero up.
Zero up.
There we go.
Yeah.
So when we think about I can calm down, why do kids not calm down? And talk to me about a time in kind of your past where you struggled with calming down.
Well, I think at this age, that's when you start to experience your bigger emotions, frustrations, whether it's at home environments, school environments, jealousy, embarrassment, or even anger that can be amongst. I grew up with siblings, brothers, and so you know how that. If you grew up with siblings, and you the young, especially the baby, you know how that can
what
get.
It is.
So you talk about anger, but they often don't have the words. As kids, you don't have oftentimes the words or tools on how to deal with all of that yet. I remember when I was that age, I didn't have the words or the tools either. I just knew how to react to what I was feeling, but in this, we're going to be able to learn how to slow down and stay in control. Not about stopping our emotions, but as I said, just learning how to slow them down and stay in control of the moment.
Granny.
So, yeah.
What did Jon struggle with? What was the biggest emotion that you noticed Jon struggling with coming up as a kid? Think about his middle school days. What was early Jon? What was his struggle? What emotion did he struggle with controlling the most?
I think Jonathan struggled with the who he is and who he was as a young person, and uh, what he knew, and he didn't want you to beat over him what that you was teaching, and but what I did was listen at his emotion. I listen, and he'll tell me how he felt,
Yeah.
and what I listened.
Yeah.
And some of the things in his emotion he
Yeah.
said was I learned from it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
learned from what he was saying to
To
me.
you. Yeah.
And so I said, ooh. And
Ooh.
I said, well, I won't argue against him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's many things that I learned from him. And he used to tell me when I was taking him to school and I'm not driving,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to say, Grandma, you can't run up behind people like this. And I wouldn't argue and say he didn't know what he was talking about, but
Right.
he was telling me the truth.
Right.
But I wouldn't listen because
Right.
I had to get
Where you needed to
him where
go.
he had to, and I need to get to my job on time. I was never late. But anyway, and one day, just like he had said, I was going where it say yield. I would run right up behind the car, and I bumped it.
And what he
And
say?
Jonathan said, Grandma, didn't I
Tell-
tell you that this was going to happen? I did not argue and say, I didn't say, you don't know what you're talking about. You know,
You
like
hush, yeah,
some adults say, the child, is, you don't tell me nothing. And
Yeah.
I listened at what he said. So when he got old enough to drive and everything himself and got his license, and he would drive, and and Jonathan would go around curves, it looked like it was on 90. I said, where did you learn to drive like this here, driving so far? And he said like this,
You.
from you, Grandma. I ain't say another
Another
word.
word said.
I ain't
So
say
when he was go ahead.
But and I'm so to the point. So I tell you, one thing about my granny is when she got a story, she gon' start it and she gonna roll with it. But the one thing that was true, right? All that she said, but also even when I was young, I struggled a lot with anger.
Oh,
Like,
well, I didn't know you were. So he
Well, no,
did.
yeah,
Anger
that's
was
it,
the
yeah.
main thing that he
Yeah,
struggled
and that's
with.
the piece, yeah.
And he used to say, what he used to say when he get angry, so angry, till even when his brothers and thing would make him angry, and he would use the word boy. He would never call him by his name. He would say, boy, what he would do to them.
Yeah.
And that put fear in me. And I says, for somebody to say that, and I used to tell him, this is not what you say.
Right.
You're not calling him by his name. You're calling him boy.
Right.
And you're talking to him like he's an enemy to you. He ain't like he's no
And you're talking about that. That's how he would talk about to his brothers.
his brother.
He wouldn't say his name.
He would say, boy, I will.
And
I'll do such thing to you.
Yeah.
And
We talked to our middle schools. We ain't gonna say what
Listen, what he said he was
I ain't
gonna
gonna
do.
say
It was violent.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say what he
It was
said, but he
violent.
said I will. And it bothered me so much. I said I was praying. I said ask the Lord to take that spirit away from him. I said who knows, he might just do that.
Right.
And I said so he said, then he told me later in life, he said, Grandma, I recognized that in myself. And he said I had to pray too and ask the Lord to take that away from me.
I'm so happy that you said that, because what does it sound like? Not just John, but what does it sound like when a kid is emotionally overwhelmed? right? Like, what does that sound like? It's, all kids can't say, oh, I am overstimulated, mom or grandma. I am. How can an adult, right? How can an adult, or even how can a kid, we're talking to our tweens, how can they recognize, dang, I'm overwhelmed? How can they recognize that? What does that look like and sound like to them?
Well, it has to be. Well, you have to. When they're overwhelmed like that, you have to be careful what you say into that overwhelm. When they're overwhelmed,
How can you tell that they're even overwhelmed? How were you able to look at John or some of your other students and say they're, oh, okay.
I can look at his expression,
Mm,
how he looked, and his tone.
okay. When you say his expression, so there's some kids right now that don't have anybody really to tell them and observe the things in them. Like, man, John, I can tell when your forehead turn up and when you start grinding your teeth. You know, some
you
kids
see
don't
some-
have that. Yeah, you start breathing heavy.
Uh-huh.
What does it look like?
Well, it look just like he's very disturbed and unhappy about what is going on with him at the moment.
Yeah.
And he need someone. Either you got to give him good direction. You just can't tell him, oh, but you just so emotional. You got to tell him that. You can't tell him that. Help me to understand what's going on with you. Help me to understand it, and I'm gonna allow you to tell me, and I'm gonna observe and listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
So whatever they begin to talk about, I'm not gonna tell him my opinion. I'm gonna direct him in the right direction. I'm gonna say, perhaps you should start to do this. I'm not gonna say that you should better.
You
do
better
this.
do this or that.
You better do this and that. I'm not gonna say that to him, because that is not a good listener. When you gonna tell another person your opinion, you would make suggestion to that person that maybe you should try that and see how that goes.
So one thing that I think I missed out on growing up was a soft grandmother.
Yeah, what you missed that?
You know, like my grandmother was, boy, you get it to get, like, it was really strict and stern on both sides, right? Both of my grandmothers gave me my first whoopings before my parents could even whoop me. Right, I had to go get a switch at my grandma Lou house, and I got beat with a spoon at my grandma Marty house.
I ain't gonna say it, but hey, I remember some switches I had to go
Let me
pick.
tell you
You
that.
know,
And
hey.
when you was with these kids, you had to go pick the right one that wasn't gonna hurt the word. You
Don't
had
try to go pick a small one.
No, I used to try. See, listen, let me tell y'all. Side note: if you're still back stuck in them times raised by grandma, and grandma tell you that you need to go on ahead and get you grandma tell you to go on ahead and pick you a switch. Go ahead.
Can we pause for a minute? I should have went to the bathroom.
Absolutely,
go, yeah.
Of course.
I should have.
Thanks for listening to the Finding Life podcast, GenAlpha Coaching Corner, with Life and Coach Jon. And big love to Nana Newsome for her wisdom, and to every generation doing their best to raise the next one with love. We'll see y'all next time.